Hello and welcome to our 11th Bible review. I can see your face. Hey guys, welcome to our 11th Bible review. In this one we're reviewing the ESV large print Thinline reference Bible. This one is came in True Tone Olive. This large print reference Bible, if you want a higher end version or the what's considered the heirloom version of it, you can go get the Omega. You'll notice that the ribbon is already sticking out here. It's because I'm trying to train the paper down a little bit. I'll get into that in just a moment. The Omega anniversary edition of the Thinline reference is this same Bible inside, but obviously not outside. It comes with this cross on the outside and this fancy markings on the outside, and it's a stiff cover. But it's olive green. When I first got it, it looked really black to me. In fact, in the camera, it looks green. In person, it looks more like a gray. I mean, especially when you put that green ribbon over the top of it, it looks black even in person. I'm not really going to get into the specifics of this yet. You can see it's just a tight binding. It does lay flat. But I will be getting into the specifics of this Bible in just a moment. But first, I'm going to rebind it in some nice leather. So, and voila. There it is. Now it's rebound. So this is the same Bible. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to stop and turn my camera. So I'm sorry about that, guys. I just realized after recording that whole intro with the True Tone still on this Bible, I then ended up not having my camera in the right orientation. So this is now a calfskin leather cover. You can see how it just flexes with a kidskin liner, and this calfskin that I found, it's a Winston calfskin, is just amazing. I just absolutely love it. I'm jealous of it, in fact, with how soft and supple it is. But it is now a calfskin bound Bible, and there isn't anything on the beginning of it. In the front, it does have all of the family record pages here. So you have all these family record pages, and then you get finally to the Bible. So here we are in this is the large print Thinline reference Bible. And so the difference between the heirloom Thinline Bible and the Omega Thinline Bible is that one is, let's open up to the Bible here. Okay. One is this layout, which is their large print Thinline, and one is just their standard Thinline. Okay. So I haven't been able to find what thickness of paper this is, but I'm guessing it's probably somewhere around 28 GSM just from the look of it. Don't take my word on that. It could be thinner than that. But if you look here, and I'm glad that I'm open to this page because we have both paragraph text and poetical text. There is ghosting, but it's not all that noticeable to the eye. Like when you have bold marks, like the chapter numbers there, you can notice it even more. But really in the poetry is where it's most noticeable. And poetry with the paragraph text behind it is going to be the most noticeable. But one thing you'll notice, one thing that I really like is that they maximize the amount of space here for the text right here by not having center column references. So this is a reference Bible. That means there are cross references, and those cross references are down here. Now there's been a complaint that these cross references are really small, but in thinking about it, I don't believe that these are any thinner or smaller than they would be right here. So if we come in on these and not get a shadow on them, you can see them. You can see how much smaller they are. I would say those are probably a 5 or 6 point font, and I made a handy dandy tool for comparing fonts. This is one similar. If you've looked at other Bible reviews, you may have seen this, which is the All Bibles Bible print size checker. Well, I made one that is similar as I believe Better Ministries print size checker. And it talks, this may be up online for you to be able to download it. So we have from a 6-point font all the way up to a 18-point font on there, and the beginning of John 1:1. So if we put this right here, so this says, according to the material, right there you can see it says it's a 10.5 point font. Okay, so here's 10. I have a 10-point font, and with the ghosting, it might be easier if I just do this. So this is a 10-point font. You can see that there. That's a 10-point font. That's a 10-point font, and it is a little bit bigger. I will give them that. Yes, it is a little bit bigger than that 10-point font. It may read closer to the 10 than the 11 for certain. But the 11 point, you can see that it is smaller than the 11 point. So, yeah, definitely a 10-point font. This font is the Lexicon, which seems to be Crossway's favorite font, and it may be because they paid so much money for it. I just recently read an article that is one of the most expensive fonts in all. But one of the ways to check for a Lexicon font is you find a question mark, and I am not seeing a question mark off the top of my head on this page here. And if I just flip through, I might be lucky enough to find one, but I'm not seeing one, which is really kind of sucky. But yeah, one of the easiest ways to tell is the question mark. The question mark in the Lexicon has a special shape that is the same across the board in every Lexicon font. Of course, every Lexicon font, but it is the same. And I'm trying to think of a verse where I think I just figured out a verse I can go to. John chapter 5, chapter 4, the woman of Samaria, there it is. Right here, you can see this right there. That's the question mark for a Lexicon font. That's the quickest way that I have learned to be able to discover if it's a Lexicon font. So let's look at the Psalms then, which is the very next thing. You notice that I added blue to the gold. It's now a blue under gold art gilding. You saw that there was the one green ribbon. Now there's 3, a red, a black, and a blue. But this is a really readable typeset that even from this far up, where I'm sitting in person, it probably looks smaller on your screen, but in person, I could sit here from this far away. This is about as far as my eyes are, where the camera is, and I could read it from this far away. Hey, look, Psalm 22. Here's a question mark. Now that I'm not looking for one, I found one. But this is a very, very readable font. This is a very nice book block. The ghosting, you can see that there's ghosting, but it is not any worse than any other Bible. And that's the thing, guys, that we need to face, is that when we get Bibles, there is always, right now with the way that they make them, there's always going to be ghosting in our Bibles. You can buy a Bible that has 36 GSM paper. For example, my Schuyler Quintel. This has 36 GSM paper, and there's still ghosting behind there. Okay, guys, so that's not something we're going to get rid of, at least not unless we start printing them in multiple volumes, which even there in some of your chapter books that you buy, there is ghosting. Let's get to Psalm 22. That's where I was in the other one. So with the Quintel, you notice that the cross references here, and then the footnotes are on the outside corner. With the large print Thinline, so even there you can see the ghosting. That's a 36 GSM paper, and I'm assuming that this one's a 20 8 because it's a thin line. Let's get close back to where I was. I'm going to put this right on top of my quintel here. There we go. And they, in the large print thin line, did it in reverse order from that. Let's go back to this page with Psalm 22. Okay. On the bottom of the page you have the footnotes that go all the way across the page because they take up less room. And then in the corner you have the cross references. So this is a reference Bible. It is actually a very good layout for references. Of course, you know, it would be nicer if you had it more like the quintel where these are larger and take up the whole bottom. But here's the thing. For a thin line, they were trying to maximize space. I have not gotten my hands on the Thinline quintel yet. But as far as I've seen, as far as thickness, I read J. Mark Bertram's review of it, which is a very good review on his Bible design blog, and he shows you the difference. And it is a thinner Bible, but it is not a thin line like this thin line. It is not the same thing. And so this is a 10.5, and that Milo is an 11, but that Milo reads more like a 12 because of the way that it was designed, where the lexicon reads more like a Roman, so it reads very much in the way that it was designed at the type size. So 10.5, but may read a little bit more like a 10. But yes, all in all, love this Bible. If you're looking for a nice thin line Bible, I mean, this one is about an inch thick when you buy it. It's thicker now because I have a thicker cover on there. I'm going to get this quintel out of the way. But actually, if we can do this, we can show you the difference in thickness here. So you see this one is about 1.5 inches thick, whereas the quintel is 2 inches maybe. In fact, I have a fancy dancy special ruler here where we can put it right here, and we get the fact that now with this cover on it, the quintel, the Crossway, that's about 1.5 inches, and in this one it's closer to 2 inches. So yeah. But I believe in the original, and if you buy the Omega, that they say it's about 1 inch thick as far as its spine is concerned. In fact, we could measure the spine of this True Tone cover. You can see how much thicker I made it then. And yeah, it's closer to 1 inch right there. So yeah, all in all, a great Bible, a great presentation of the Word. Something that if I was looking for a thin Bible that I wanted, a nice thin Bible that I wanted to carry with me, this is probably the one I'd go with. Very large font, very readable font, very easy to read. I love the lexicon font. I think it looks great. And this, I mean, the ghosting, I mean, I feel like I just say this every single time, but the ghosting is not that terrible. I mean, we have here where we have the scripture over top of the cross references. And I mean, you can see that these bold come through, but you can't read it through the paper, which sometimes there's been some ghosting where it's like you can totally read the words through the paper, and it's just horribly thin paper. But this, I mean, here on the paragraph, you don't even notice it because it's line matched. So you have the lines on one side right over top of the lines on the other, and it makes it super readable. And I love that they maximized the reading size here, that we have the maximized amount of space to be able to read, putting the cross references down there. And so to get to some of the helps then in the back, Titus, Revelation. Here, let me get this quintel out of the way. Let me get this out of the way here. So from the back cover, let's get into. So we have a So last page of Revelation here, and the weights and measures. And then we have this is the ESV concordance, which it's not as beautiful as the Quintel's concordance, but it's essentially the same thing really when it comes right down to it. We have the concordance, and then after the concordance, it jumps from the concordance straight into the maps. Now the one complaint that I've always had with Crossway, now these ones aren't too bad, there's some glossy cardstock, but they're rather light glossy cardstock in comparison to like my ESV Study Bible or my Heritage Bible, where they have some thick cardstock that they're printing these maps on. I mean, these are rather thin for what you're getting. They have the maps, and then the last map right there, and then a single piece of cardstock, which was the original end sheet, and then the end of the Bible. So not a whole lot at the tail end of it. Really, though, all in all, if I was looking for a true tone Thinline, I'd probably go with this one a second time around. The true tone Crossways has some nice true tones that they're coming out with, and I mean, you can get them cheap. Very nice, very cheap, very easy to get and easy to handle. And I mean, and the text block, you can just see text block there is super nice. You see that it's gold with the blue underneath. Now comes with that. So yeah, all in all, great Bible. I would totally suggest, if you're looking for a Thinline, but you want to, I mean, I don't have their normal Thinline on me to review, but this one, very nice Thinline, very nice presentation. The 10-point font is immaculate. I love Lexicon. It's almost, I think it's my second favorite right after the Milo from the Quintel series. And so very readable. If you're looking for a slightly larger font than your standard just Thinline Bible that you're going to buy, I'd definitely go with this. Again, I'd say it's probably about a 28 GSM paper, maybe a little bit thinner. Rather thin to keep the Bible thin. So yeah, definitely one way to go. Okay guys, that's it for me. I hope that you liked this review. If you do like our Bible reviews, you know, definitely feel free to go down and hit the like and subscribe button. I'm planning on having more and more of these. This is just number 11. You've already seen some great ones, and we even gave away one of the Bibles that we reviewed already. So if you want to be in for part of that, we may be giving something else like this away, maybe a rebind at some point. I've been thinking about doing that as well, giving away a rebind. So if you want to take part in that, make sure that you go down and you hit the like and subscribe button, but definitely the subscribe button. That really helps us a lot. It makes sure that we know that you guys are watching. If you have any other questions, always feel free to comment down below or send us an email. I hope that that you guys are liking these videos, and until next time, I pray that we're helping you to believe in something better.